Once in a quiet village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a young man named Renji. Renji was known throughout the village, not for his strength nor for his wisdom, but for his restless mind. He was always thinking, analyzing, worrying about the past, the future, the what-ifs of life. No matter how hard he tried, his thoughts would never stop. One evening, Renji overheard travelers speaking of a revered Zen master, a man who lived atop a distant mountain and was said to hold the secret to inner peace. Determined, Renji set out on a journey. After many days of travel, he finally reached the mountaintop. There, he found the Zen master sitting in perfect stillness, his eyes closed in deep meditation. Renji bowed respectfully. "Master, I seek your wisdom," he said. "My mind is never at peace. Thoughts flood my head like an endless river. Please teach me how to empty my mind." The master slowly opened his eyes and smiled. "Empty your mind? Very well, I will teach you." He led Renji to a small courtyard where a large stone basin sat, filled to the brim with water. The master picked up a ladle, scooped some water, and poured it into a smaller empty bowl. "Your task," the master said, "is to empty this basin, but there is a rule. Not a single drop must be spilled." Renji stared at the task before him, confused. How could he possibly fit all the water from the large basin into such a small bowl? But he was determined. He picked up the ladle and began scooping. Hour after hour, scoop after scoop, he worked tirelessly. But no matter how much water he transferred, the basin remained full. Frustration crept in. His arms ached, his thoughts raced. Why won't it empty? This is impossible. The Zen master, watching quietly, finally stepped forward. Placing a gentle hand on Renji's shoulder, he said, "You are trying so hard to empty the basin, but you have forgotten the most important step." Renji looked up, confused. "Master, what step?" The master smiled. "Before you can empty the basin, you must first empty your mind." Renji took a deep breath. He let go of his frustration. He stopped overthinking. Instead, he focused on each scoop, feeling the weight of the ladle, the coolness of the water, the gentle ripples as it poured into the bowl. He became fully present in the task. And then, something incredible happened. The basin, which once seemed impossible to empty, began to drain effortlessly. The water seemed to flow with ease, each scoop becoming lighter, more natural. Finally, with one last scoop, the basin was empty. Renji turned to the master, eyes wide with realization. "Master, I understand now." The master nodded. "When you empty your mind, you allow life to flow through you. You become one with the task before you, and when you do, everything falls into place." From that day forward, Renji carried the lesson in his heart. He no longer fought against his thoughts. He no longer clung to his worries. Instead, he let go, and in doing so, he finally found peace. And so, dear listener, what are you still holding on to? Perhaps it's time to empty your mind.